Welcome to Zombie Thanksgiving Lesson 4. Essential to all games is the ability to check to see when one object has hit another object. Additionally, it's also useful to provide some textual information on the screen and then possibly position it relative to an object. So let's get to it. So let's review where we are in the game. And we have the turkey and the zombie moving around the screen using the set vector and the move methods, with the move method receiving a true argument so that the objects stay on the screen. We saw that the cursor needed to move to a location relative to the mouse. So we used the move to method of the sprite, which accepts a x and a y, and we passed it the mouse's x and the mouse's y. So the task here is to see what happens when these two guys hit each other. So let's go to the code. And one of the things I went ahead and did here was to increase the size of the zombie so that we can force a faster collision. Because as you can see right here, it's almost by chance if they collide. All right, so in order for us to check, in order for a program to be smart, to make a decision on its own, we have to use an if statement. So what do we want to check for? Well, we want to check to see if the turkey has collided with the zombie. Now, the reason I'm using those words is because if you go to the game library and you go to the sprite class, let's close this up. We actually have a function called collided with, which accepts an object. So let's try that. So if turkey dot collided with what? Zombie. That's it. That is all you have to do. Okay. So we're going to keep it simple. We're going to use the console log again. And let's simply display ouch. So let's go back to our screen. Let's pull up our developers tool by pressing F12. And let's hit refresh. So you can see here, increase the size on this side. You can see ouch is increasing and then it stops because they're no longer colliding. And then ouch again. So we've effectively figured out how to check to see when one object collides with another one. Now we have to improve on this because obviously games aren't played with the console open. So let's go back to our code. So the ability to draw text to the screen belongs to the game object, in that at some point you have to start realizing what logically makes sense for an object to have. So the ability to draw text in the game, notice how I'm saying in the game, means that draw text really should belong to the game object. And let's just verify that. So if we scroll up, here's the game object. And sure enough, where is it? I just passed it. Here's the draw text method. So the game has a draw text method that accepts a message, an X and a Y, and possibly an optional font, but that's for a future lesson. So let's do that. So instead of displaying ouch to the screen, to the console, let's display it in the game. So we're going to say game.draw text ouch. And remember, it needs a location. So let's do 50, 50, which will put it in the upper left-hand corner. And I'll talk about this here in a second. Let's go back here. Let's hit refresh. And just watch the upper left-hand corner. As they collide, you will see the word ouch. When they don't collide, we don't see the word ouch. So if you're unfamiliar with the coordinate system of most game environments, the top left corner is 0, 0. This is the x-axis. This is the y-axis. The y is inverted, which means to go down is a positive y. to go above the screen, kind of like in the no man's land over here, that's a negative value. X is okay. X is positive this way, X is negative on this side of the screen. This side has a value of game.width for an X value, and this bottom has a Y value of game.height. Again, this is also for a future lesson, but I figured since we were talking about coordinate systems, we could just kind of cover it all. All right, so we got the words ouch to pop in the corner. Now let's think about maybe having the words ouch pop up underneath the turkey. So how can we do that? Well, we saw that with the mouse. If we wanted to use the mouse's position, we talked about the mouse's X and the mouse's Y. So if we want the words ouch to pop up around the turkey, then what X value do we want? Well, we want the turkey's X value and the turkey's Y value. Now, logically, that makes sense. But let's go to the game library and let's just verify that we actually do have those variables available to us. So if we open up the constructor, we could see here, and we knew that from before when we explored how to construct a sprite, that a sprite has an X and a Y. These are optional parameters. They get set to default to the middle of the screen, but as you can see, as it moves around, these X's and Y's are changing as well. Okay, so let's see what happens with that. All right, so here's the turkey, and I'm gonna guess that it might be a little hard to see it. Oh, wait a minute, why is it not? Oh, I was looking at the wrong spot. If you look, I was looking for underneath, but it's right on the turkey. So that doesn't make much sense. I mean, it might make more sense for it to be underneath. So I mean, I just want the ouch to go away. So there you go. So it's not there anymore. So to move it down a little bit, that means we have to increase its Y. Remember, the Y is inverted. To go down means to go positive. So let's add 50 to it. Let's see if that's enough to offset it. Actually, you know what? Let's overshoot it. Let's say 100. Let's try it. And now it's a little easier to read because the words aren't actually on the zombie, on the turkey. They're underneath the turkey. Okay. So let's go back to our presentation and let's review what we've done. So we learned that a sprite has a collided with method function that accepts just another object. So now we're able to check to see if one object has collided with another one. We learned how to draw text on the screen, and we learned how to position the text relative to other objects. Enjoy.